Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and Ranking Member Chabot and members of the committee. My name is Mark Leazer. I'm the Director of Sales Technology for Forms and Supply Incorporated, an independent, woman-owned small business office products and furniture dealer located in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to testify today. Testifying today on behalf of NOPA, the National Office Products Alliance, a not-for-profit trade association established in 1904. NOPA represents and serves more than 700 small independent dealers nationwide, along with their key suppliers. NOPA appreciates the opportunity to speak to the committee about a serious growing problem facing small office products dealers who have government business, small business fronts, also known as pass-throughs. What are small business fronts? Today I'd like to concentrate on the small business pass-through problem, which we feel requires focused legislative and regulatory remedies to be addressed effectively. Just what are these pass-throughs or small business fronts? In the simplest terms, these are situations in which a large national company approaches a small business and proposes to create a partnership for the sole purpose of gaining improper access to contracts set aside for small business. It's in effect a small business being able to sell their socioeconomic status. Let me emphasize that these fronts are not the same thing as legitimate small business mentoring program relationships. In that case, the small firm plays a commercially useful and much larger subcontracting role. NOPA is fully in support of legitimate small business mentoring relationships. The abuses highlighted in Appendix 1 to my prepared remarks, which lead to small business fronts, usually occur when, number one, the small business has little or no prior experience as a reseller of office products, particularly to government customers, and little or no ability to itself support such business. Two, the large company performs most or all of the selling, order management, customer service, product delivery, and invoicing payments processing behind the scenes on behalf of the pass-through dealer partner. Three, the small business performs few, if any, commercially useful functions once the contract award is made, beyond providing an entry point through its website to the full operating infrastructure of the large corporation. And fourth, the small business typically receives a commission for its willingness to serve as the front for this business, which is passed through to the large corporation. Let's now look at the negative impact of fronts on small business and government. The known direct loss of federal business experienced by legitimate small independent dealers already totals tens of millions of dollars annually, and these losses are growing. Conservatively, these losses have reached more than $100 million per year on a national basis, including federal and state government contracts. Government also is harmed as competition declines when independent dealers are excluded and large national chains and their small business fronts are awarded the business under false pretenses. GSA and many federal agencies are working to help legitimate small businesses expand business with them, and we heard that from the testimony earlier today from Panel 1. The inclusion of small dealers in the Army Blanket Purchase Agreement for office products and a recent 19-agency strategic sourcing contract award that includes small businesses are positive signals, and we appreciate that. But even those contract awards appear to include some potential small business pass-throughs as well as legitimate independent small businesses. We encourage the committee to review recent state contracting developments as outlined in our prepared statement. They are enlightening to many of the harmful practices that are occurring. What do we as NOPA feel should be done to address this situation? We feel that federal legislation is essential to end small business fronts. NOPA and its members greatly appreciate the exceptional efforts of this committee to assist small businesses in our industry and others. But more focused legislation is needed to address the small business fronts problem. Specifically, NOPA asked this committee to work with us to develop legislation to, number one, establish stricter bid evaluation criteria to ensure that federal contracts set aside for small businesses are not awarded to companies that play only minimal roles in servicing such contracts. Two, require federal agencies to ensure that all bidders on small business set-aside contracts fully disclose and certify the functional roles they will play in contract fulfillment. Three, require each federal agency to report annually to the appropriate committees of jurisdiction in the House and Senate regarding their implementation of these provisions to end the use of small business fronts in federal contracting. Four, establish meaningful penalties for for companies found in violation of the proposed new legislative and FAR provisions aimed at elimination of fronts. On behalf of NOPA, I thank you for the opportunity to testify before this committee today about one of the most damaging and unfair contracting practices that often prevents independent office product small dealers from competing on a level playing field for federal government business. I'll be happy to answer any questions that the committee may have.